My dad didn't stop eating when he said it. "You can take the guest room," he said, keeping his eyes on his plate. "Or you can move out." He said it evenly, the same way he might ask someone to pass the salt. My mom didn't react. She just kept slicing her chicken into small, methodical pieces, acting as though her 24-year-old daughter wasn't sitting a few feet away. We were sitting at the same dining table where I used to do my middle school math homework. I had moved back in a few months prior. I was burned out, recently laid off, and just trying to find my footing. I worked 2 jobs, paid them rent, bought my own groceries, and kept to myself. I thought we had an understanding that I could stay until I found a new place. "I don't understand," I said carefully. "I'm already in my old room." My mom finally looked up. Her expression was tight. "That isn't your room anymore. Your sister needs it when she visits. You need to stop acting like this setup is permanent." My sister was 30. She lived 3 hours away and visited twice a year. Her high school track trophies were still sitting on the shelves upstairs. Dad cleared his throat. "You're not a kid anymore. Adults don't live with their parents." I looked at the chipped edge of my dinner plate. My sister had a house key, showed up unannounced, and still borrowed money from them, but I was the problem. "So those are my options?" I asked. "The guest room, or I leave?" Mom nodded. "We're just being honest." I pushed my chair back. The wood scraped against the floor, loud in the quiet kitchen. "When do you want me out?" Dad paused for a second. "Soon. Give it a few days." I stood up and nodded. I didn't argue. I walked upstairs, went into the bedroom, and shut the door. I barely slept that night. The house was quiet, just the usual settling of old wood. The guest room wasn't a compromise. It was a holding area for people who were only passing through. By morning, I knew what I was going to do. I went downstairs early and made the coffee, wiping down the counters out of habit. Mom walked in while I was rinsing the sponge at the sink. "So," she said, avoiding my eyes, "did you think about it?" "Yes." She exhaled, her shoulders dropping a little. "Good. The guest room is all ready for you." "I'm moving out," I said. She stopped. "What?" "I'll be out by the end of the week, probably sooner." Her relief hardened into annoyance. "You don't have to be dramatic. We offered you a room." "You offered me less," I said. Dad walked into the kitchen then, pouring his coffee. He listened quietly as Mom explained. He told me I was being overly sensitive. He asked where I was even going to go. "I'll figure it out," I told him. I spent the next 2 days packing. I packed quietly, folding my clothes into boxes and putting my books into bags. My sister's dusty trophies stayed on the shelf. Nobody offered to move them. On the 3rd day, Mom stood in the doorway watching me tape up a box. "Most kids would be grateful we let them stay at all," she said, crossing her arms. I looked up at her. "Most parents wouldn't make their kid feel like a burden." She scoffed and walked away. The next morning, I loaded my car. Dad stood on the front porch. He didn't offer a hug or tell me to call when I got there. He just watched in silence. As I drove down our street, I waited for the guilt to set in. I waited for the urge to turn the car around and apologize. But it never came. I just felt the hum of the engine and quiet relief. I rented a cheap studio apartment across town. It had bare walls and thrifted furniture. I slept on a mattress on the floor. It was small, but it was mine. No guest room. No quiet reminders that I was unwanted. For the first few weeks, my parents barely called. There were no texts asking if I was settling in or if I had groceries. It was easy for them to just keep living. But then they started reaching out. Mom called, sounding tense, asking where the car insurance papers were. I told her they were in the blue drawer on the bottom shelf. The line went quiet. A week later, Dad texted asking for the Wi-Fi password. Then he needed help with a utility bill. I answered politely, keeping my replies brief, like a houseguest would. I realized they didn't miss me. They missed the convenience of having me around. One Sunday, Mom called. "The house feels different without you," she said. "I imagine it does," I said. She hesitated. "You could come over for dinner sometime. Use your old room." My old room. "I'm pretty busy," I told her. It wasn't a lie. I had found a job that didn't treat me like an inconvenience, and friends who noticed when I was quiet. A month later, my sister called. "Mom and Dad say you're acting distant." "I am," I said. She gave a short, awkward laugh. "You'll get over it." "No," I said. I got through it. A few weeks after that, Dad called. He didn't sound like his usual self. Your mom has been upset, he said. She thinks maybe we were too harsh. I let the silence hang. Well? He asked. Don't you want to talk about it? I built a life where I don't have to ask for permission to exist, I said. I'm not giving that up. The line was quiet for a long time. I just hope you're happy, he finally said. I am, I replied. They never apologized, but they stopped offering me the guest room. For the first time, they spoke to me like an adult, like someone who could leave and stay gone. I hadn't left to punish them. I just finally stopped trying to earn my way into my own family. So, what do you guys think? Did I do the right thing by walking away, or should I have tried to make peace with my family? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you love stories about setting boundaries and standing up for yourself, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you in the next story.